Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own custom rugs and artwork instead of relying on the accessories or libraries in SketchUp's warehouse or Enscapes. They're not bad, but some of them kind of miss the mark in terms of being like more like posters, so to speak, where again, you're presenting to a pretty high-end client here. So you're going to want to show rugs that are to scale and to the right size and shape, and also then artwork. The more you can show, say, like upscale individual artists or famous artists or current folks that tie into your aesthetic, again, it's going to kind of upgrade the whole look of your presentation. So, and the technique for them are both really similar. So I'm going to start first with an area rug. So one of the things we want to pay attention to is what's the standard math of rugs. So I'll show you a kind of trick for that in a minute. But generally 8 by 10 is one that you're going to see in a lot of houses. So I'm drawing my line here. I'm going to go 8 feet this way. Then I'm going to go 10 feet that way. And then another 8 feet down there and then 10 feet down there. Now, I'm not going to pull it up yet. I'm just going to leave it here for now. So one of the things I was able to catch with a couple people in class, but not everybody, is a really good resource here is Wayfair. So let me bring that up in just a second. There it goes. All right, so here I am. I've already gotten to the Wayfair rugs. I'm kind of on just I think then I clicked area rug. So one of the things to check here is they're going to give you on their search component over here on the left, all the different sizes. So there's 8 by 10. So right away, if I'm already searching within the 8 by 10 pictures, I'm going to get like, again, an image that's going to be at the scale of the rug I want. The other nice thing is they've got a really good search engine for color. There are also more filters for style. So I'm going to pause it for a second just to kind of bring up a few examples of that too. Okay, so I picked purple just so it could be something really bright on the page. But you have primary pattern here. So right away, you've got all these options that are going to tell you and help you kind of get to what might already be in your head, or again, you can play with it a bit. So I'm going to do, say, like vintage. Well, let's do floral. Let's just do something ginormous and flowery. So you can also pick the material, the weave. We're going to talk about the weave a lot more in materials class too. There's also styles. So not only do you have the type of style of rug you have, what kind of style house do you have? So let's just go for glam. Let's get something fun. All right. So again, though, keep in mind some of these styles are not always correct either. So again, be critical in your eye and watching for this. So right, that one's out of stock, darn. All right, so pretty much like limited my search very quickly for what I'm looking at. All right, let's just play with this one. This one's kind of fun. All right, so to get the image we want right away, let's see if we can get one straight on. So the second one here in Wayfair, click on that. Come on, come up. There's the image of the rug straight on. It's taking a second to load there, sorry. All right, I'm gonna pause that as it's loading. Okay, so the second button down here gets you the image of it straight on. Note the math in this guy. It's actually 7'6" by 9'6", but that's basically, if we stretch it a little bit, that's really easy to make it 8 by 10, okay? So you can right click and copy image or save image as. We'll see if it'll let us do it as a JPEG. It's not, it's doing this WEP file. So cancel that. And instead we're gonna use the old trusty snip tool. So you're gonna literally type in the word snip. Snipping tool comes up and then it's gonna allow you over here where it says new, you're gonna get the rectangle. It's already set up to be a rectangle and you're just gonna literally crop in, try to don't get any white space. I think I might have got some at the very top there, so I might redo that guy. But there's my image. So I'm going to say File, make sure to save this as. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So it has a JPEG. Sometimes PNGs also work too. So let me just put this somewhere where I'm going to remember where this is. We'll put it here on my USB. And I'm just going to call this like purple rug. There we go. Save. Okay. So again, you don't have to go through Wayfair, but it's a quick and easy way to kind of search for something. The other thing I want to show you too is some folks had runner carpets. So that is going to be, let's see, hallway runners. They're long and thin. So to make that pattern work, you really want to get an image like this that's already long and thin, that's gonna not repeat in weird spots for you. So again, sizes are pretty standard on these guys. 2 by 3, like 7 by, well, the runners are really these skinnier ones up here. hold on, sorry, my website. They're going to be 2 or 3 feet wide and then super long. So let's show this guy really quick just so you can understand what I'm talking about. A lot of these carpets, again, are going to come in other options, rectangles here. So this guy is the runner. This is the 2x5 here. So again, this is the image that you're going to want to crop and then paste into then a longer rectangle in SketchUp. All right, so let's go back to SketchUp and see how that's going to work. All right, so here we are here. So what you want to do now is actually make a texture that you're going to paint in on this rug. We're keeping it flat for now for a minute, and I'll show you why. So we go to materials. Now, this is important to pick the right base material because there's a lot of extra programming going on behind the scenes. So when we bring this in Enscape, it's not going to read this as shiny. It's going to read this as a fuzzy texture, like cloth-like material. So you want to start with a carpet already as your base kind of file that you're going to build this from. So they have, let's see, where is it again? Carpets, fabrics, and wallpaper. All right, so hover over any of these ones that have carpet, that are carpet. I believe this guy right here is, let's see if I bring him up. Carpet plush. Okay, so that's good because it's going to have the programming that's going to tell Enscape to read this as a plush, like a fabric material. So we're going to click on this little box right here, create material. So it's going to be creating it using the background programming of this carpet. So I'm just going to call this guy purple carpet. Carpet. Now to get my image in here, it's checked to use a texture image. So I'm going to click on this box right here. And then I'm going to navigate to where I just saved it. So it's right here on purple rug right there. Now, before we go any further, we want to make sure it's the right size and shape. So you're going to break this chain. So the width of this picture should be 8 feet. And the length should be 10 feet. And that's going to force that image into the actual real world size we want. So you're going to say okay for that. And then we're going to paint it on here. Now you can see it kind of started to repeat there for some reason. So one of the things you can play with is you right click on it and you have this option called texture and position. This is how we edit things also in tiles with the route lines not being where we want to. So now what I can do is I can kind of stretch it here. So yeah, there is something about this image where it's not quite 8 by 10, is it? Let's see. Let me check my math here if I did it right. So we've got this to this should be 10, and that's 8. Yeah, so for some reason the picture from Wayfair didn't quite like match the math we wanted. So we can do 2 things. So we can go back and right click on texture and say position. And now we can, so this button here that I'm over, you can rotate the image, so twist it around. So again, that's another way we can change things in textures, like say, for example, the pattern of a floor tile or wood planks. You can also scale it, so you can kind of pull it like this. So see how I'm just pulling it now to fit there? So yeah, something was a little funky in that scale there. All right. This works right now for say if we wanted this in sort of a more glam-like house. Now, no rug is perfectly flat. So we also want to pull this guy up about at least maybe half an inch, just to give it some depth. The fact that I painted already means it painted in the purple edges for me. So the whole thing is now purple and will read more like a real rug on the floor. Now, before we bring this into our model, or if our house is already here over on the left, we want to make this a component. So you're going to select the whole thing. You're going to right click and you're going to say make a component. And we're just going to call this purple area rug. Oh, I totally spelled purple wrong. Purple area rug. Okay. There we go. Great. And now this is going to be really easy to sort of move in and out of your model and your space. You can also copy it if you're using it in a couple other rooms. So it's good to go there. All right. The technique you'd use to make art is really similar. So I'm going to kind of set that up now, and then I'll kind of pause and show you a few tricks. Okay, so this kind of rectangle now is 4 foot by 3 foot. I'm planning to get like a landscape to put in one of my houses. For a lot of folks in your comments, just because, it was kind of a marathon there at the end of the semester that we didn't always get to see or comment on all the accessories you added in. So one of the suggestions we were trying to tell you was instead of, say, finding a poster print of an art, make it look like it's real art, like it's someone's real oil painting that they bought. And again, some of this stuff you're going to kind of pull from what you've been learning in art history, But also, if you ever have questions, please ask Lynn, Anthony, or I. We nerd out about all of this and we all have our niches, that stuff we love. So we're very happy to help you out with that. So one of the comments, I was talking to a couple people set their houses in like England and Ireland and places like that. So look up either who are famous past painters of that era or those geographic areas or contemporary ones. So in this case, I'm a fan of Turner. So he's an English landscape painter. So I literally typed in Turner landscape. So there's a pretty decent painting I can use too. You can also do, I think I did one for one of the other students. I sent you a link where it was like, let's see, artist, contemporary, English landscape. So again, some of this is like the Google search that you're going to use for this. Oh, we got to spell everything right too. So here we go. Images right away. You get a whole bunch of different people like working in all sorts of different mediums. So let's try this one too. So this is contemporary means it's somebody who's alive now, who's working now. So we'll kind of play with both of these. So this one, I'm just going to literally right click, save image as, see if it lets me save it as a JPEG. It did. Again, save that info because if somebody like your client likes that painting, you can, get a commission, getting this for them too. So save that. All right, Turner. I don't think your clients can afford them. They're very famous, but they're like in all the great museums. So we're going to save some image as, and same thing. All right, this is an AVF file. So in this case, oh, because it's from The Guardian. I was stealing it from a newspaper article. Let me see if I can get a different one. Let's try for this one. Art UK. Actually, that's not quite the width I want. I'm trying to find something a little less dark. All right, here, we'll try this blue. All right, we'll right click, save image as, yep, JPEG. All right, so we're just gonna call this Turner. All right. Okay, save. All right, so now we're going back to SketchUp. Same thing like the carpet. We're gonna make ourselves a new surface. Now, paintings aren't gonna be a little tricky because we want to have a material that, again, is gonna read somewhat like canvas. I would still go with fabric, honestly, because like I said, we want it to read like canvas. Let's see if there's something that's kind of, what's this one? Suede. Yeah, that would actually work. Because again, if you think about the texture of suede, it's not too shiny. So we're going to click on that. And this time I'm going to call it, like I'll say English landscape 1. We're going to get the picture now this time. So again, the picture that I want to get is over here. Oops, I forgot where I saved it. Hang on. See, I'm just like you guys. I forget where I saved it to. So mine was in downloads. Here's this image here, the first one that I'm using. Now, again, we want to kind of force the size of this. So this one's like at 7 feet by 4 feet. So we're going to force that right now. And we're going to make it 4 feet wide by, let's see, I think I said 3 feet. That was my painting. Let's check them on that. Say, okay. And again, now paint it in there. Come on. There it goes. Yeah, so that got a little kind of morph too. So let's right click on it, texture, position, and I'm literally just using my mouse to sort of position it a little bit. Oh, there it was. It actually fits great. It just repeated it strangely in that square. So see how it's repeating this as a texture over and over again, where I really just want one image. Now, there's a couple of things we can do here with this guy. So if you wanted it to be just a paint on canvas without like a frame, right now you're just going to pull it up. And again, I would suggest say pulling it up maybe an inch. Let's see. I think that looks too big. Let's try that again. Whoops. I moved my painting again. All right, here we go. Texture, position. There we go. Back to there. Up there it is. Okay. And now we're going to pull this up 1 inch. 1 inch might be a little too big. All right, that's okay. So it'll give it some depth on the wall. So then you would go ahead and make this a component. So right click, make it a component. And we'll just say painting 1. All right. So that would be, say, like, again, a painted canvas on the wall. You wouldn't necessarily have the print continue like this. So one of the things you might do instead is just kind of like randomly paint in the edge like that. See how now it's like a little bit more like blobby. What an artist will actually do is they'll either be unfinished here or they'll kind of again have some finished paint, but it's not like the picture wraps around it. But just take a quick look at that to make sure it's not doing something weird. Now, say for example, for the Turner painting I had, like if you have that kind of money, you're probably framing this guy up pretty dramatically. So you can get a frame off of SketchUp Warehouse. So you can basically take apart somebody else's model that has a really nice frame, or you can build one yourself. So if you're doing a more simple kind of gallery frame, here's my rectangle. Then what you're going to do is use the offset tool, which I have to find this darn tool again. There it is, offset. So it's this one with the two circles and a little arrow. So in this case, I'm going to offset this shape here, basically going out maybe, let's see, like 1 inch. We're going to have a thin little frame for that. All right, so this will be kind of eventually what we'll pull up. So first now, we're going to make the second painting. So we'll kind of use the one on the right as our basis. So we'll click here. We're going to make a new one. So we're going to call this Turner painting. Oops. All right. And then now we're swapping out that photo with the other picture. So I'm going back to my files. There's the Turner. I'm saying, okay. Again, I want to break this chain, make sure that I do have 4 feet there, but I want to make sure I have 3 feet going this way. We'll see if the proportions of this guy work. So we're going to say, okay. And then we're going to paint that in. And again, the scale is a little funky on this one. So yeah, I think his picture is not quite the right rectangle for 3x4, but if we wanted to play with it, oh wait, no, actually it's okay. It's kind of, we only had half of the painting there. So let's see how that looks. So once we play with that texture, we gotta move it just a little bit. So I right click, pick on this texture position. I think I'm gonna scale it. Yeah, somehow we have like a white kind of frame to it from the original picture. Let's see how that works now. All right, that's working. Now, this is where eventually we're going to pull all these things up. So first we're going to pull up the painting about a 1/2 inch because the painting itself is going to have some depth. The frame is going to have some kind of wood or metal. So you can get it from here in SketchUp, or you can, again, get a nicer wood texture from online. For now, I'll take this like kind of warm wood here, paint that in. Then we're going to pull this frame up probably, so that's now even with it. Now let's bring it up maybe another 1/2 inch to bulk that up a little bit. All right, so now this becomes your painting with a frame. We're going to collect all that, make that a component. So this will be our Turner painting. Okay. And now to kind of rotate these forward, to flip them up on the wall, you're going to get the rotate button here. Kind of get over here on the edge, and you want to be on the red edge, and see how I'm kind of like mimicking that. I'm like basically gliding along the bottom edge right now. Then I bring it up, and 90 degrees, it's going to kind of snap in there to 90 degrees, or you can type in 90 degrees. So there's my painting one to put on the wall. This one, same thing. We're going to rotate this one up. So we'll get the rotate tool. We'll kind of glide along that bottom edge, bring it up so it snaps to 90 degrees. And there's our two paintings. So again, this is what's going to kind of help your models sort of stand out a bit more, because to be honest, there's only so much art in the Enscape library and in SketchUp too that we start to see the same art and the same damn clock. Lynn and I will show you which clock that is. We see it on everybody's model, but start to try to find instead and make your own custom art, because again, it's going to tie together the aesthetic of your space. Again, show off your knowledge of art history. You've all been working real hard in those classes. So again, have references to the styles that you're showing us in the decor of your home too. So again, quick run through of carpets. Gosh, that guy looks black and white now, huh? We're gonna have to check on him. Something's funky there. But this is where we get like our kind of custom paintings and things like that. And like I said, ask us questions throughout your time here at Sage, because like I said, we all nerd about certain artists and people, and we'll happily kind of send you down those rabbit holes to get something really nice on the walls.